Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you. And I think you'll have to listen. Because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day.
And we won't stop. We will not stop.
Sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right. It's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart. Doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now
See this? How you cannot go?
Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled
who
to
are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, thank you guys for showing up, coming back and staying in the live. We're going to talk about the Amari Nicholson case. You guys remember Amari Nicholson? Okay, our guest is here. Yes. I thought that I had missed her, you guys. Oh my God, our guest is here. So I know you guys are going to you guys' mind is going to be all over the place. Okay, so first of all, let me introduce to you guys our next conversation. It's going to be about the Amari Nicholson case. You remember Amari was the little boy that the mama went out of town. She went to go take care of her mother in Las Vegas, said her mother got bit by a dog. And then she got a call from her boyfriend saying, that the baby's aunt came and took the baby. She flew back into town and called the police, and she called the police while she was down there. She flew back into town and she was like, he's a good daddy and he's this and he's that and all this other stuff. And, and he's like, where's my son? Where's my son? And he was right behind the McDonald's down in some kind of little ditch over there. And Mr. Rhodes, that's the boy's name, her boyfriend had killed the baby. Okay, we're going to call it like it is. And they didn't find no charges on Taylor. A lot of people was angry about that. A lot of people think that she knew that maybe before she went out of town, something had happened, or maybe she knew when she came into town, she knew that, Mr. Terrell, or whatever his name is, Terrell Rhodes, did something to her baby. But anyway, they got into some argument with a young lady that was pregnant just last weekend, you guys. A pregnant woman. And you remember DJ, I think that's his name, or JD. His name is JD. He has spoke so highly of Taylor, and he took care of Amari. So he said that was his baby. That was his son. It really wasn't, but you guys know what I'm saying. He took care of this child like it was his. Well, JD and Taylor jumped on a young lady that was pregnant, and they both went to jail. Everybody understanding where we're at? Mama's boyfriend tried to grab the police phone. Yes, Paula. Yeah. Yes. Terrell couldn't even look in the camera wearing Louis Vuitton shirts and that parts. Yes. So you guys are understanding what's going on. So I'm finna to bring her on up. She's here. So let's get it and let's get it. Here we go. You guys will be able to ask questions if you want, and you can call in. How is she not in jail? Well, this young lady's going to tell you everything. Her name is Sarah. Her name is Sarah Jean. Okay? Jean. I think that's how you spell her last name. Sarah Jean. She does have a YouTube channel. But we asked her to come on, and she did. And she's going to tell you guys what happened. Let's go. Hello. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I'm glad that you're
Thank
here.
you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm glad that you showed up. So tell us what's going on, Sarah Jean.
Oh, okay. It's a lot. So, the victim, Nicole, asked me to be her voice. So that is why I am speaking for her on her behalf. I wanted to just get that out there.
So you're the voice of the victim, the pregnant young lady.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. She just doesn't want to keep going over and re-victimizing herself. So she chose to have me tell her story for her because she really wants it to be told. So I said I would do it for her.
Okay.
Okay. So do you want me to just jump right in?
Yes.
Okay. Because
sure
it's a lot.
Our audience, this audience over here, we know everything about this case as far as how Amari, came up missing, and we followed it the whole way through. So we know it very well.
So everyone knows how JD was there, very supportive, went to all the court dates with Taylor to support her because he did help raise Amari at one point when he was a baby to a certain point. And everybody thought, JD's just this great guy.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into it.
Okay.
So Nicole has been dating JD on and off before the Amari situation even occurred. During the time Amari was missing, they were not dating, but still, in touch type thing. So then they got back together after all that happened. And then she ended up pregnant. And then he was cheating on her. So she broke up with him. So they were not dating when this occurred. But because she's pregnant with his child, and it's both of their first child, she's 11 weeks pregnant, and he was going to the doctor's appointment with her and, telling her all these lovely things that every woman wants to hear, whether, they're true or not. And So she was trying to maintain a relationship with him to the point, at least together for the baby. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he did make her aware that Taylor contacted him and wanted to stop prostituting and needed somewhere to go. So he let her come stay in his home. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where he shares a home with his, I think it's an apartment. He lives with his cousin, their roommate. And so then Taylor moves in temporarily, according to him. So on October 4th.
Okay, hold on 1 minute. So JD is the guy that Taylor had dated before she was dating Terrell Rhodes, that helped her raise Amari. That guy JD was going to the courts and everything, right? That's what you said.
Yeah.
And then he, and then he met Nicole.
He already knew Nicole. Now, Nicole did not know Taylor. Okay. But of course she learned of the whole situation during the Amari situation unfolding.
And Nicole is pregnant with his child.
Yep. She's 11 weeks pregnant. And so on October 4th, she works, a graveyard shift. So he picks her up from work in the morning so she can come over and do some laundry at his place. She knows Taylor's staying there temporarily. And so she goes to do her laundry. She starts her laundry and she gets in a conversation with JD because, he's telling her all these sweet nothings, how they do. And so she started noticing that it doesn't look like Taylor's just here temporarily. She's made herself at home, very comfortable, and in JD's space, not in like her own space type way. So Nicole wanted to know, is there something more going on? She asks JD, is there more going on with you and Taylor? And he avoids the question. So she asks him again, is there something going on? I want to know, as the mother of your child and as being close for the baby, I want to know what's going on with you and Taylor. Is she really just staying here temporarily, or is there more to it? Are you guys screwing? What's going on? What's the deal? So he says to her, well, why don't you ask her? And she's like, well, no, I'm having a conversation with you. I don't need to talk to Taylor. I want to hear it from you.
Right.
And because you're the one telling me all, it's not this, it's not that. She's just here because she needed a place to stay, so she could quit prostituting and whatnot.
Right.
So then Taylor comes barging in the room and she comes in hot. And she's like, is there a problem?
Okay.
So Nikki stood up to talk to her because she was sitting down. She stood up to talk with her and she goes, are you fucking JD? And it all happens. It all happened so fast. Next thing you know, she says JD has a hold of her arms. And
hold of Nicole's arms?
Yes. JD grabs a hold of the pregnant ex-girlfriend, pregnant with his child. And she's a high-risk pregnancy because she had a miscarriage in April. So she's high risk. This is both of their first child, and this is their rainbow child. So he grabs a hold of her arms, and while he holds her arms, Taylor thinks it's a great opportunity to just start beating the shit out of her. Okay? So she's getting beat up by Taylor while her arms are held and she can't fight back, defend herself, protect herself, nothing. Okay? So then that part ends. And she's like, I'm pressing charges on you guys. I'm going to be calling the cops. You guys are going to jail. This is not okay. And so then JD chokes her out and she can't breathe. And he choked her out to the point, well, I will tell you later what that resulted in. So after
he choked Nicole out?
He choked Nicole out to where she could not breathe. Thank God, he stopped for some reason. I don't know if he started thinking, oh, this, is going too far or whatever. Then he stopped. Then he'd be like, oh, baby, please, no, don't call the cops. Please, I'm sorry. And she's like, no, this is absolutely unacceptable. And this is not okay. And you guys are going to get cops called today on you. So then he pulls his gun out and he holds it to her head. And he says, you are not going to take my child and keep my child away from me. And because in his mind, that's what was going to happen. You're going to call 911. I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to lose my rights. You're not going to let me see the baby. So he's freaking out at this point. But it's his fault, So she's like, so he holds the gun to her head. And she's like, just let me leave. Just let me go. And he runs out into the other room and he tells his cousin and Taylor, he's like, she's going to call the cops. You guys need to have my back. Like, in other words, telling them to lie for him. Mm-hmm. And, also during this time, he body slammed her all over the room like a wrestler as well. Wow. So he held her arms while she got attacked. He
strangled her.
He slammed her all over the place. He choked her out. He held a gun to her head. And Taylor attacked a pregnant woman, but she would never hurt a child, right? Right. So, this went on for about 20, 30 minutes. She was pretty much held hostage. They wouldn't let her leave. She tried to leave. They would stand. He would stand in front of the door. Somehow or other, he finally let her out that door, and she immediately called 911. During this time, her clothes are still in the wash, so he's telling everybody to get her shit and get it out of here. So they're bringing her wet clothes and her stuff outside while she's waiting on the police. Okay, so police get there. They take her to the hospital. Officer follows because they need to finish the report and check on her and all that stuff. And then this is when Taylor and JD get arrested. So at the hospital, she's checked with forensic for the choking around her neck and monitored for the baby to make sure baby's okay. While she was being monitored in the hospital, they let her know that she had blood vessels popped in her eyes from being choked. It was that bad.
Wow.
It was really severe. And she said, every day the eyes looked worse until they healed up, And so she's completely traumatized. She was blindsided, even though she never really believed that Taylor was innocent or that she protected her child in any way, shape, or form or anything like that. I don't think she expected to be attacked, especially being pregnant, by either one of them, to be honest. So this was like a shock for her. I check in with her every day. She is doing okay. She is still very stressed out, very concerned because Taylor was released the next day on OR. And then we just found out this morning that JD has posted bail. He will be out on an electronic monitor, but that takes up to like a week, so he's not released just yet. So then their preliminary hearing for Taylor and for JD will start on October 24th for this whole case. Now, he's facing a lot more charges than Taylor. I will read off the charges that he is facing and that Taylor's facing. So, for this incident, JD has assault, domestic violence with the use of a deadly weapon. He has a charge of domestic battery by strangulation. He has a charge of coercion. I don't say that word exactly right. Bear with me here. coercion, domestic violence with threat or use of physical force involving a deadly weapon. He also has a charge of owning and possessing a gun by a prohibited person because he has priors and he should not have been around a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
Then he has a charge of battery, domestic violence on a pregnant victim, first offense. Okay, let's get to Taylor's charges. She has coercion with force or threat of force, and then battery. Our victim, Nicole, is working with the DA, and she is trying to upgrade Taylor's battery charge to battery on a pregnant victim as well, because it doesn't make any sense why she wouldn't have that charge like JD does. Why is it just battery? She was pregnant. She battered a pregnant woman. So that is in the works to be upgraded. Fingers crossed. Hopefully they can get that there. The only thing I can think of is Taylor's probably claiming I didn't know she was pregnant. You know.
Well, she's 11 weeks pregnant, right?
She's showing. She's got a bump. So, and Taylor knew. I mean, she knew.
How do you know Taylor knew though?
I can't say I know for 100% that she knew.
Right. Okay.
But I'm just assuming, and I figure she knew.
Okay.
I mean, because I know the girl, I've seen the girl, she's got a bump. It's obvious that she's pregnant, and it was no secret she was pregnant. JD was going to doctor's appointments with her, and then when she went to do her laundry at the house that day, there was talk of doctor's appointments for the baby and stuff. So you can't tell me she didn't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then she might be trying to fool the police saying I didn't know, because there's no other logical explanation why her battery charge wouldn't have the attachment of on a pregnant victim. But JD says.
Yeah.
So
okay.
she's working on that.
So I got something to ask you. So was there any kidnapping charges?
There wasn't. There was only well, no, there's not even hostage charges because it was only for 20 to 30 minutes. Like I said, Nicole talks to the DA every day, and she keeps saying, why isn't this being charged for her? But it is for him. And then she's also trying to figure out why there isn't a charge for, like you said, kidnapping or being withheld. Actually, no, wait a minute. I think that's where the coercion, DV, threat, or use of physical force comes in. And because Taylor also has the coercion with force or threat of force. So the threat to not let her leave, they were threatening her, is where I think that all falls into place. It's just worded differently. Instead of like kidnapping or hostage, it's worded as coercion with force or threat of force.
Okay. Now I was gonna say something just entered in my mind, that even though that JD has a charge where it says with a pregnant woman, that may, I'm just gonna give you something to think about. It may be dropped later on, and I'm gonna tell you why. Not because it's because she's only but 11 weeks. Viability comes at 20 weeks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why they didn't do it with Taylor, because even though that she's 11 weeks. Huh?
Yeah, that could be. But
yeah, I had a friend that had a baby. She was pregnant at 19 weeks, and her boyfriend drug her with the car. He was holding her and dragging her down the street. She lost the baby at 19 weeks. And they didn't charge him because the baby is not viable until it's 20 weeks. That's what the law says.
Wow. Yeah, but see, there's no charge on the fetus, on the baby. It's on a pregnant victim.
Right.
So just the fact that she was in a delicate state, I really feel like that charge will hold for JD, I believe. He's been to doctor's visits. He's seen sonograms. So I'm praying that charge holds, because that's serious. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then, they have their preliminary hearing on October 24th. And then if there's any updates, I can let you know and we can go from there.
Okay.
But
Do
at
you
this,
know how much his bail was?
it was $15K. So I don't know what was paid, because some bail bondsmen will do 10%, some are 15%. So I'm not sure what was paid, but we pretty much figured out Taylor and his friend got the money together and bailed him out.
So, okay, is that 15K is the 5 or 15%, or is 15K is the bail, and then they got to come up with $150?
Right, that's the set bail, and then if it's 10%, it's like $1,200 something dollars, and if it's the 15%, that's for 10%, and if it's the 15%, it would be like 2,000 something.
15K.
So you got the 15K bail, and then the 10% of that would be like $1,200 something dollars, and then if it's 15%, because we're not sure which way it went, it would be like 2,000 something to bail him out. So since she got out on the 5th, up until yesterday, she came up with money.
Hold on. So 1,000 is 100. So 15K will be $1,500.
Roughly, yeah, around that.
Yeah.
Roughly around that. Yeah, I haven't figured all that out. I just know it's like roughly. So she really wanted to get her story out, because not only is she, a victim, but she's a victim of a mother who swears she would do anything to protect her child, would never harm a child. And here she was harming a woman who was pregnant and could have ended that pregnancy. Okay.
Right.
She has no problems harming a child. And it just shows character. It shows face. And JD, I was kind of blindsided, because, he looked like this upstanding man that helped raise Amari and that supported all the court dates, showed up for Amari and his mother, even though they weren't together no more. And I'm like, and here he is almost killing his baby's mother along with his child.
Wow. I think that this young lady, wherever she goes, is disaster. Taylor. And I'm sorry your friend is even pregnant by this man now, knowing that he put his hands on her.
Yeah, she had some mixed feelings about that, but she's come to terms with this as her baby, not just his, it's both. So because she was struggling with that and everything, but she's like, I'm going to keep it. This is my rainbow baby, and she's going to extend the restraining order. So he won't be able to, I think he's going away for a little bit anyway. But just for safety's sake, she's going to go ahead and extend that restraining order, because it's a temporary one and it expires like pretty quickly. It's ridiculous. So she has to file all this paperwork and get it extended out for like, I think 2 years. So that way she can just, try and be safe, and he's going to do his time. I will update you when he does get sentenced, and so does Taylor, and I'll let you know what their if maybe we'll do a follow-up video. I don't know.
Okay.
But,
okay, there's some questions in the chat because I've already asked all the questions I wanted. Monica is in the chat. She says she wants to know, what's a rainbow baby?
Oh, okay. Well, that's when you've had a miscarriage and then you get your baby that holds and throughout the pregnancy, and then so even though the baby's not born yet, it will be their rainbow baby when the baby's born, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So when you lost a child and then you get pregnant with another one, that's considered a rainbow baby.
Okay. I should have put that up there. Hold on. Let me go try to find that again. I can't find it. Okay. I'm going to ask this question. Somebody is asking about JD. Is said he ended up being her new pimp. Is JD a pimp?
From my understanding, Taylor moved into his place to get away from prostituting. So I don't think he was pimping her or anything. I think that he just let her come so she could stop prostituting, and then they started messing around with each other again.
Okay. If anybody got any questions, please put them out there real quick. We still got 30 minutes. If you guys got any questions. Oh, she's like, oh, it's like a miracle baby. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yes. And Taylor is no stranger to the police. They were like, oh, that's Amari's mom in there, as soon as they heard her name, Taylor Nicholson. And they're like, Vice has dealt with her an awful lot, for the prostitution.
Right. So he was sleeping with Taylor?
She was trying to find out because her gut was telling her yes. And even though she wasn't together with Nicole, wasn't dating JD, she's pregnant with this child. They were going to the doctor's appointments together. And so, of course, she wants to know, because here he is saying, I love you, baby. We're going to have this baby together. And he's working her, trying to get her back,
Right.
But he's known to cheat. So she's like, kind of like, let's just do the doctor's appointments and like do the pregnancy, and then we'll go, see where it goes down the road. But that was it for her, because she, there's history between him and Taylor. He was being very evasive, answering questions. So then that was telling her more in her mind that something more is going on here. And why lie to me if we're not together? Why not just say the truth? Right?
Right.
Right. And then Taylor decided to come and barging in the room all heated and hot and like, what's the problem? And so Nikki kind of felt like she was going to be attacked. So she stood up and she's like, I just asking if you guys are sleeping together. And that's when she got attacked.
Okay.
And it just happened so fast,
Right. Soldier Girl is asking, is there any chance Taylor, do you know, will face charges about Amari?
I don't know that. I would hope that the police would see this character, this side of her that has been hidden, that she could and would harm a child, and maybe look into her a little more, because there was red flags that they swiped under the rug. Right. I really do hope they look at, but my honest opinion and feeling is that no. That's just my honest feeling and opinion. Okay. I don't think they're going to reopen the case. I don't think they're going to reinvestigate her for Amari. I think that ship has sailed, but the public who witnessed it and who majority of us saw right through all her lies.
Right.
To us is kind of like a just like I thought. This is the type of person she is.
I'm thinking if Nicole wrote a letter to Mr. Rhodes and let Mr. Rhodes know that Taylor is now with JD, maybe Mr. Rhodes would come out and tell the truth of what Taylor did know.
I would hope so. And that is something that I'm going to talk to her about. And maybe police will go re-question Terrell at the very least and say, hey, listen, are you sure that she didn't have anything to do with this? Because what I feel, my personal opinion, is that from the moment she got back into town, she knew, and she helped cover it up. Because if you guys recall, there's a McDonald's right next to where they were staying. And a lot of people wanted to meet them there to do, to hand out flyers, to go pass out, and to come up with a plan of where to search and what to do. And Taylor was very defensive, and she was very evasive of the McDonald's area. She says, no, he's not around there. We don't need to search there. And everyone's like, no, we're not saying we were going to search there. We just wanted to meet there and do the flyers and come up with a plan of where to look. And she's like, well, we know where to look, because I'm sorry, Amari's father's name just went right out of my
head. Giorgio.
Yes, Giorgio. She's like, Giorgio's sister and family took him. They live in California, and they live here in Summerlin. So if he's anywhere, he's going to be in Summerlin area or California. She's like, so we're going to get access to a car later, and we're going to go driving around looking for him ourselves over in Summerlin. Okay. And do you know that's where she didn't want anyone going to that McDonald's, and that's where Amari was, like right there. He was right there.
Wow. Yeah.
So for me, just all the signs point to she knew after the fact.
Right.
And she was trying to help cover it up. Maybe she felt she would face charges. Maybe I truly just believe she's the type of woman to choose a man over anything else. Right. And protect that man by all means.
Right. Okay. We have Miss Dots. She asks, what did you say Taylor was released on?
OR, which is your own recognizance, meaning that you give your word you will come back to your court date. And she was released. She was not bailed out. She was just released on own recognizance.
Okay, Miss Phyllis G, check her OF account. Is it still active? What is OF?
Fans only, or only fans.
Oh, is that still on? Is it still active?
You know what? I'm not sure, because I haven't checked. Okay. I'm not even sure about.
Okay. That was that question right there. Okay, so Miss Philly G is asking, she is the friend of the girl who got attacked by Taylor, Amari's mom, and JD? She's letting someone know she is the friend of the girl who got attacked. Okay. Corporate, any other questions? If I was her, I will keep the restraining order. Nicole. Oh, Daphne saying she thinks that Nicole threatened her living situation by asking if she was sleeping with JD.
Maybe she did, and you know what though?
But she didn't ask Taylor. She was asked. She said she's not going to ask Taylor. She was going to ask JD.
Right, absolutely. And in my mind, and this is just hypothetically, because this is not what happened. Hypothetically saying that Nicole went in there and was like, oh, you're fucking him, and I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to beat your ass. Anything like that still does not excuse what happened to her. Pregnant or not, she was strangled. She was beat while her arms were held and couldn't defend herself. She was body slammed all over the room like a wrestling match, and she had a gun held to her head and couldn't leave the apartment. So to me, I mean, if Taylor felt threatened, that's her damn problem.
Right.
Go boo in the corner somewhere. You don't put your hands on somebody.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I mean, just like Taylor didn't want no one putting hands on her. Let's remember that.
Right.
She was scared. She had at the beginning of that, she had police escorting her everywhere. And then somebody I know that lived nearby Taylor witnessed her being harassed just going to the store, people throwing things at her, yelling, cussing her, gonna kick your butt, you know, this and that and the other. And so she did go through quite the harassment herself. And she was scared of being jumped or attacked herself. So knowing how that feels and then go do it to someone else, especially a pregnant woman,
Right.
it just shows character. It really does.
Right. Okay, Daphne says, do you think she thought she would be recognized by a McDonald's employee?
I honestly think she was just trying to avoid him being found over there.
Right.
Because a lot of people complained about a smell, but then there was a lot of people saying that the trash cans by McDonald's always smell. So it was just kind of like maybe it's just the trash can smelling. But she definitely was evading anyone coming over to that McDonald's area. And a lot of people thought it was odd and were calling her out on it. And she kept coming up with like her own reasonings. Like Giorgio's family lives in Summerlin. We're going to go look over there. There's no need to look at McDonald's. Well, no one ever says we were going to look at McDonald's. It was just supposed to be a meetup. And they even told her that they were like, no, we just want to meet up, get some flyers to everybody that meets up so they can pass them out. And she was just like, no, we're not going to meet at McDonald's. So she was very evasive of the whole McDonald's situation.
Right.
To me, that speaks volumes.
Right.
You know.
LaKendra is saying, do you know how long she was living there?
I don't. I don't think it was for very long. And JD was open with Nicole because they weren't dating. He told her she's living there. But he wasn't like full on truthful. It was like, oh, she's just staying here temporarily because she wants to get on her feet and stop prostituting. And there's nothing going on. And, he was, oh, baby this, baby that, sweet talking Nicole and just lying to her, really. And I don't know if, I'm sure a lot of people will remember, somebody made a support group for Taylor. And a lot of people put money into getting her tattoo covered up. And a lot of people felt sorry for her. And I have a friend that is my personal friend, and she is an advocate as well. She is the owner of the nonprofit organization Vegas Angels. She was trying to help Taylor right after this happened. Hey, I'll help you with your resume. I work for a company that I can get you a job, because that's what I do, is I help get interviews and I help place people in jobs. Taylor didn't know how to do a resume, so she was going to help her do it. Taylor just wasn't interested.
Wow.
She just wanted to keep prostituting, Look how long it took her to take down the videos of Terrell on her fans only. It took a few people calling her out on it until she finally deleted them off of there. She was still making money off of him after he went to jail, after he admitted to killing her child. She still was making money off of their content.
Wow.
And to me, that spoke volumes at the time. I'm like, how could you do that?
Well, okay, I want to ask this question because Nicole is pregnant with 11-week baby.
Mm-hmm.
Is she wanting to get back with JD and make this work?
Not anymore. Maybe a little at first because he was stepping up, going to the doctor's appointments. They were both happy, excited type deal. So it's almost like they were trying to kind of work in that direction. But then, this whole incident happened because he didn't want to be honest and truthful with her up front.
Wow.
And like she even said, it's not like we were dating, we were broken up. Regardless if I'm pregnant with this baby or not, I just wanted to know the truth of what was really going on with him and Taylor. And he evaded it and said, you go ask her. And then she come in, what's the problem? And it just, got into a physical altercation.
And this is just from my experience, being pregnant with someone's child. They did a lot of stuff, probably worse than what he did to Nicole. And my family was like, you're not leaving him. And, I really didn't want to leave him because I didn't want my child to be fatherless.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we do want to believe that, this is your first child and it may be a boy. We don't know. They normally like the boys, and he was a good father to Amari. So what happened? Like, what happened when he doesn't want to?
She's like, I can't believe that he would protect someone else's child and take care of them and the mother of that child. But here I am, the mother of his child, and he almost killed me and our child. Like, she don't understand that. And then she's at the point right now to where she says, if he could hold a gun to my head, choke me to where my blood vessels pop in my eyes and almost kill me and our baby, I don't want him around the baby. She's going to extend that restraining order. She's done. I don't know what the future holds for them. That's not my business. But I know right now, and as long as she can help it, because I think you can extend the restraining order out 2 years, and then it expires and you either redo it or you don't. And so she plans on doing the 2-year extension, which breaks her heart because she did want him to be part of that baby's life because it is their first child for both of them, whether they're together or not.
Right.
But he messed up. And she don't trust him, and she's scared of him, and so she's got to protect herself and that baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say one thing, and I don't know if you knew this, but, I've spoken to Giorgio several times, and he had told me, and I don't know if I've even made this public or not, but Taylor cheated on him with JD.
Yep.
And that's how they got into it.
They put him in jail.
And he told me he didn't put his hands on Taylor, but JD told them, because Taylor was like, oh, he did this, he did that. And JD was like, yep, he did. And so when he went to jail, he already knew, okay, she got a witness saying that she got a witness. It's more than likely he's going to lose. So let's not go get a whole 2, 3, 4 years when I just say I'm guilty when I'm really not. But because the plea out, because when you got somebody saying, yeah, I was there, he did, it's going to be hard.
They start dating and stuff. And I don't know if I can dig it up, but there was a video that Giorgio had shared. I don't believe Taylor knew she was being recorded. They were at a park. I believe it's when he was having his visit after getting out of jail, seeing his son Amari. Okay. Mm-hmm. There is a recording somewhere where he was talking with Taylor and she was apologizing for lying and putting him in jail.
Yeah, I knew that because, everybody was like, oh, he was in jail and he was domestic violence. And she was telling the police, she was like, yeah, this is the man that, did this to me. And Terrell is a good daddy and he taking care of Amari and, and stuff. And I was like, oh, Lord. I was like, a lot of people didn't understand. He went to jail because sometimes it's just better to take the deal, because when you got someone that say that you did something that you didn't,
Yeah.
you're gonna get it, charged and found probably guilty. So now it looks like karma done came back and gotten JD.
Exactly. Yep. That, I'm sad that it was at the expense of Nicole having to go through what she had to go through. But absolutely, karma does work its way around. And those were my thoughts too.
Wow. One question, then we're getting off here because I know you got things to do. But did Nicole think that JD was a good person? Did she not believe that he would put his hands on her?
I will say that from my knowledge, she knew he was dishonest about seeing other women. He was good to her for the most part, but not always. That's why they were on and off. He did put his hands on her in the past, and he does have a charge for that on his record.
Oh, on the put his hands on Nicole?
On Nicole. But nothing like this. It was not this intense. It was not this crazy. It was not trying to kill her. Right. So I don't believe she ever in her wildest dreams thought that he would almost kill her and their child.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. I hope Nicole, pray for her. Hopefully, whatever way come out, hopefully the baby is okay.
Yeah, she's had some monitoring, and she's getting all her blood work done, and so far everything's looking good, as long as she tries to stay stress free. So she still has a lot of stress and has to deal with talking with the DA every day pretty much, and that's why she asked me to be her voice to tell her story and to get this out there about JD and Taylor, because she is stressed and she just didn't want to put herself through all that emotion, telling her story to the public like that. Right. So,
okay, well, thank you, Sarah, for sharing that with us, because I guarantee you some young lady in this chat needs to hear what's really going on.
Yeah.
And if there's any updates, hopefully you come back on and let us know. You are following the case, right? You following the case?
Absolutely. And I talk to Nicole every day, and actually she's getting most of her updates from me and Vegas Angels, because the Vine thing isn't telling her. See, when you're a victim, you have to sign up with the Vine app, and that's for victims. And what it does is, the only thing it does is, she's like, well, why didn't the Vine people, like app or whatever, contact me and tell me that he posted bail? I said, unfortunately, once he's released and out of the jail doors, then you will get a notification that he has been released. That's how it works. So I am definitely following the case. We're giving her the updates, and she's calling the DA like, hey, what the heck? Why isn't anyone keeping me informed? I've got other people giving me the information when I feel I should be getting it from you guys. And so she's going through that stress too, Right. So, but she's got a good little support system.
Okay.
And, like I said, we just wanted to get this out there so everyone is aware of, because when this first happened, Taylor was under the radar, constantly being watched by the public, the police, and the news. So when she got that undercover, when she solicited to undercover officers and got arrested for it, it was all over the news. All over the news.
Yeah.
Since it's been a while and the ship has kind of sailed and nobody's really looking at her no more because she's been cleared and all this stuff, everyone's missing this one. And this is a big one.
Right.
It hasn't been on the news yet. I do have a friend with Channel 8 News, and we're working on a story. Hopefully, we can get that up and on the news for, justice for Amari and for Nicole's sake. And we just don't feel it's right. Like, how are you going to make a big deal about her getting arrested for prostitution, but know nothing about her, attack?
Beating a pregnant woman.
Yeah, right. You would think that that would be big news.
Yeah.
And so since they don't want to make it big news, we will.
Right. All right. We're gonna follow. And if Nicole needs anything, let us know. We will support her also.
Absolutely. I appreciate you taking time to have me on and to tell her story for her. It really does mean a lot. But I know you're an advocate too, and it means a lot to you as well.
Yes.
And you covered the Amari story, the whole time.
Oh yeah. We love the babies and women too, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I'm missing persons, but I seem to lean more towards the children,
Right.
If I can do something for the adults, that's great. But I like to be the voice for the children that have no voice.
Right. All righty. Thank you. If anybody want to follow Sarah Jean, she does have a YouTube channel. You can, guys, what is your YouTube channel? Is it just Sarah Jean?
It's Sarah Jean, but it's also like missing children around the world. And then the platforms that I mostly use are TikTok and Facebook, mainly Facebook. I have a few groups. I have the Missing Persons Around the World on Facebook, and then I have Missing Persons Las Vegas Emergency and stuff. So it's mostly Las Vegas, California, stuff like that. But I'm all over the place. I admin groups. I have groups. I'm on every story for every child that's missing. So, I'm sure people will recognize my name and be like, oh yeah, I see her commenting all the time,
All right. Well, stay in touch, Sarah Jean, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate you a lot. And you have a good night.
All righty, you too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, you guys, that was Sarah Jean. She told us about Amari Nicholson's mom, Taylor, and what happened, you guys. Remember, somebody came in here, and I think it was Woke the God came in here and was like, yeah, Taylor got arrested. Yeah, she was beating some pregnant woman. We was like, what? Where's the receipts? We want to know. And then, Woke the God ran and got Sarah Jean for us, and we appreciate them both. So give a good shout out to Woke the God for getting us that interview so we can hear from the horse's mouth. She was the spokesperson for Nicole, and you guys got to hear it for yourself exactly what happened. So when a person says, I'm the spokesperson, you're just like speaking to the person. It's just, some people scared. You don't be looking at them, looking at the face, talking about, where's the baby and all this stuff. They don't want to be seen or, known going up and down the street. And then you might have one person in here that likes Taylor because, people like, certain type of people, you know how that is. She's got put herself first in the baby. Yes, Tina, you're right. Yep, you're right. And so I want you guys to know, I appreciate you guys coming back in here the second time. I'm going to get off of here. Got a lot of things got to do. We're going to get back cracking like we used to, you guys. This family is huge, and we're going to have to show our numbers. So anytime that you see that we put out something that we're coming on, anything special or a little promo, we call them little commercials or something, promo, you better believe somebody's going to come on and somebody's going to tell us something. And we all ears, we want to know. One thing I want you guys to understand, and I'm not saying I'm right about this because I'm not right about everything. I just want everybody to know that. But one thing that I have been watching and looking, and this is about Amari. This is about every case since 4 years, I'm noticing the last person that was with that child is the person that really did the damage. I haven't seen nothing. I mean, tell me where I'm wrong at. Tell me where I'm wrong. When this person said, oh, I seen the baby last, or I handed the baby to this, or such and such went and picked up, we come to find out that that's who did it. Or, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway, exactly. I'm going to get on off of here, you guys. Make sure you guys have a beautiful, beautiful evening. And thanks again. And I will see you guys at Friday at 5 p.m. Central Time. Have a peaceful, peaceful night. Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think you'll have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day.
And we won't stop. We will not stop.
Sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now
See this? How you cannot go?
baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled
who
to
are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah.
Where does the fault lie on